by your parties. Dropping the hit, got me Shararti. Coming the scene like a tsunami.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Haraami United. We're back again. I mean, it's just me and Banksy today. The others might join us. You know, we're going to roll with the punches, see what happens. But Banksy, bro, I feel like we're doing overtime this weekend.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I think I'm going on.
We did one yesterday, and we're at it again. But
Yeah, I think I'm going under the weather again. You know.
Listen, I'm still not better, bro.
It is what it is. He's got to keep going.
That's it. And you know what it is? The news is moving that fast right now.
Yeah.
At some point, we had to do something, because if we miss another news cycle, then we've got to come back on here in 2-3 days time, and we've got to go, all right, okay, well, this happened on Saturday, Sunday, and you know, it's better to sort of keep it a bit fluid. But for anyone that doesn't know, or for anyone that somehow missed it, we've signed somebody.
How much?
I don't know, Rob. He's a CEO. Well, he's going to be a CEO. He's the incoming CEO of Manchester United PLC, because, you know, we're still a PLC. And it's Omar Berrada, currently of Manchester City and the City Football Group.
Well, they've already said he signed his contract. That's come from Fabrizio.
Yeah, so he signed the deal. He's obviously, we've had the press releases. Everything's confirmed. Now, I'm a bit confused about when he's starting work. I don't know about you, but I've seen some people say 2024, as in the start of next season. But then I've also seen people say 2025, meaning January, which would sort of line up with how Gary O'Driscoll started, because we didn't want to pay out his contract. So I don't know. Have you heard anything on start dates or anything like that?
No, I've heard this exact same thing as you. So obviously it's a summer, or it could be 2015. Before we actually get into
2025, bro, not 2015.
Yeah, 25. Before we actually get into that, I just want to give a shout out to the whole Discord community that we've started. Come on, me, you are active on it.
That's it. And you know what it is? They keep saying we need Harps, we need Riz. Look, Harps and Riz, you know, listen, me and Banksy don't have kids. All right. We are free, single, we're chilling, we're bachelors, right? The other two, unfortunately, married, kid, you know, they've got a whole host of different responsibilities compared to us. So we can afford to sort of dip into that now and again. They might one day jump in the Discord, who knows? But yeah, like you said, massive shout out to the boys in the Discord.
You know what it is,
thank you.
You know what it is, though? It runs itself. Like, you basically miss 1 hour, and
you miss an hour in that chat, and you're scrolling for the next 2 hours trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. All you gotta do is come on the chat and just be, like me, you. Obviously, when I go in, I like, yo, give me an update, and everyone's replying back to me like, yo, instead of an update, what's your update? You know what I mean? It's just like, no. But no, I mean,
we're like, what's going on in the chat, boys? What's going on in your lives? And they're like, no, we want your update.
Yeah, but nah, you know what? A shout out to the boys on the Discord. You got Billy, Generic, Ronnie, Stocks, JSP,
Worthy, flipping JSP. Worthy, there's loads of them, man.
Everyone, yeah. So you know what? A shout out to you, lot.
Let's
go back into Bam Bam. Yeah, let's go back into, you know what? Another guy, Odin. He's quiet, but you know what?
He speaks now and again. He's a good lad. He's a good lad at heart.
He's controversial though, which I love. Like he can get under your skin. He can get under your skin. But, yeah, he can get under your skin, but you know what? You have to give it to him. Like, he's got balls.
Nah, he's a good lad, and you know what? The most important thing is he's a Man United fan.
Yeah.
I mean, we had obviously Aaron, Aston Villa fan on yesterday. So doesn't matter what kind of football fan you are, we are always open for discussion. But obviously, we're Man United fans. we've sort of been centered around that as a podcast, as a channel, even though obviously we have a lot bigger aims and things that we want to achieve. So look, as long as you're a Man United fan, we've got all the time in the world for you. As long as you conduct yourself with a bit of respect and a bit of decorum, and don't start hurling abuse and getting too personal with things. Like, I mean, I've had it for the last God knows how long on Twitter. You've had it a lot longer than me. And there's one guy, I'm not going to name him, but there's one guy who's like, oh, he never replies when I say this or say that. And I just think to myself, bro, one, you follow me. So you follow me just to give me shit. Just to say the same shit to me you've been saying since Christmas Eve, which is almost a month gone, by the way. And guess what? Deal's still not completed. Yeah? So that's that point. But also, why would I want to reply to you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What's the benefit in my life?
I'm a
lover, not a hater, man.
Yeah. You know what? Let them do what they need to do, because at the end of the day,
Exactly.
we need to basically do what we need to do, and this is this. So
that's it, man.
Let's go back into Omar Berrada, the new Manchester United CEO.
How are you feeling about it, bro?
You know what? I was stunned to hear that.
It wasn't a name that was in the press at all.
No, it wasn't.
That was a first for me.
To be honest with you, the way Ornstein dropped it, he dropped it like a bomb. Do you know what I mean? Exactly,
it was
like
Ornstein and Romano, and then the Athletic is Ornstein, but
it basically dropped exactly like a bomb. The way Ben Jacobs tweeted a few days ago regarding Sheikh Jassim and the SEC filing, that's how it dropped. For me, the guys. So what I've been hearing in the last 24 hours is that he's the guy who's built Man City.
One of. Now, let's not.
Yeah. So this is obviously not my theory or whatever, but the way I see it is you've got the CEO, you've got
Khaldoom, isn't it, at City?
No, he's the chairman. The chairman. The two guys from Barca.
You've got Khaldoom Al Mubarak. Let's name them and let's forget job titles because I don't know who's who. You've got Khaldoom Al Mubarak. You've got Chiqui Bajirstein from Barcelona. You've got Ferran Soriano, also from Barcelona. And then you've got Omar Berrada. And I believe there's one more person, but I don't know who the other person is.
Yeah. For me.
And they are basically the brains of the operation.
For me, if you ask me, it's literally the two guys from Barca and Omar Berrada. If they weren't there, City would be nowhere.
Well, we saw that in the early days when they got the money. You know, they were scattergun. They were, let's buy Bellamy, Santa Cruz, Tevez. And, they bought like 9 strikers in one window at one point, which I think I've said before, but oh well.
And I think the previous CEO was Gary Crook, wasn't it? Gary Crook.
Yeah. Yes.
So him leaving, bringing the Barca boys, they've changed City. Now this is
and then obviously the long-term plan City had was we'll bring in Chiqui and Soriano and we'll use them to get Pep. And obviously, now they've reaped the reward since day one. But Aki, man, there's one thing that's sticking in me.
The charges.
Is he part of the 115?
He has to be.
Because he was, from what I can gather and from the sort of the investigations and the research I did, he was handling sponsorships, right? And stuff like that for not just Manchester City, for the whole of the City Football Group, which is 11 different clubs across 5 continents.
Yeah.
And you look, they've got Brazil, Uruguay, America, they've got clubs everywhere, man. But obviously they've got that feeder network as well. They buy somebody, goes on loan to, Granada, for example. Not Granada. Is it Granada? I think it's Granada or wherever. And, they've always got tabs on them. So you've got this constant network of just sheer talent in the youth ranks that's getting sent to La Liga or the Australian League or the MLS or wherever, just to get a bit of first team experience. And
Yeah.
the system they built's fantastic. But again, just going back to the point, he was sort of linked to the sponsorships. And we know that City allegedly have inflated those sponsorships. We know, obviously, like, there's other things that have come out. I mean, look, Google it. There's 115 different charges. I'm not going to sit here and read them all. I ain't got time, unfortunately. But what happens if they're guilty? Do we
Right,
then
so
have to sack this guy?
you know what?
This is what's sticking in my head.
Right. Okay. So there's a question here. Well, not a question, but obviously I've got it up here now. You really have really got to question why United would appoint Omar Berrada if Man City are guilty of massive fraud, of the charges, basically. Now the thing is, I'm not questioning United going for this guy. For me, it's basically the guy's got the CV. He's got the portfolio. He's done his part. You know what I mean? He probably deserves the CEO job at City, but he's not going to go there. Apparently, he's basically rejected a few jobs elsewhere. But when United come knocking on the door, he's taking the job. Now, fair play to him. He's going to do what he needs to do because apparently he's in charge of football and business operations. I think he'll do really well. My question is,
I don't doubt that. Like, obviously,
yeah.
looking at his body of work at Man City, I think he will do well.
My
But-
question is, okay, fine, we've still got the Glazers, we've still got Ratcliffe. Now, at the same time, them charges, if he jumps ships to Man City, to United, and they get found guilty, and he's one of the names that come out, because apparently his name's all over the paperwork. So
this is what I'm saying.
If he gets pulled for it, does he still get charged?
I don't know, bro. I do. This is what's getting me. Like,
is this why? Is this why his start date is in the summer or probably in 2025?
But then is this also why he's left Man City? Because he knows the hammer's coming down and he's trying to save himself.
But then again, everyone would jump ship.
Maybe they don't know the ins and outs as much as he does.
Maybe it's basically just him who's the main person. His signature's all over it. Lala.
Maybe. Yeah, I've just said that.
You know what I mean? So I think
Enjoy your restaurant, Riz.
Yeah, I think it's basically you have to question it because why is he jumping ship?
Right. The other thing I'm going to point out, right? Let's forget the whole jumping ship and charges for 1 second. I know Man City fans. You know Man City fans. Riz is unfortunately related to some Man City fans through one way or another.
Yeah,
now, my thing here is when I spoke to my friend who's a Man City fan, diehard Man City fan, season ticket for many years. That dude bleeds blue, right? Like, that's how sort of diehard he is with Man City.
Yeah.
When I spoke to him, well, actually, he told me the news. Obviously, I heard it from you boys and Twitter and everything. He sent me the article and he was like, "Wow, like that's massive for you lot. Like he was involved in this, that, the other. Like that's massive. He's gonna do bits for you guys." And I was like, "All right, cool. You know, City fans have got a good word to say about him." And then about an hour later, he's like, "Yo, the man's a snake. He's a grass. He's a snitch. Hope he gets run over on his way to Old Trafford. You don't make that move." And da 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 da. And he's a snake. He's a weasel. And I'm like, "All right, cool. My boy's saying that. He's probably, we're bantering, So then I log onto Twitter. Bro, Twitter was saying the exact same shit.
You know what?
Twitter went from, "Oh, it's a massive coup," to, "Oh, he's a snake."
Would he say the exact same thing if Pep Guardiola went over to United? Would he say the same thing if the CEO and director of football went over to United? Is it only because of the charges? If the charges wasn't there, would he say that?
Exactly. And shout out, I'm gonna give another shout out. Shout out Hannah. We had her on here before. She's smashing it with her content, by the way. Even though she gets a ton of hate. But keep going, man. You're doing your thing. She was in a back and forth with someone on Twitter, and he was like, the guys, I can't remember the exact tweet, but it was something along the lines of he's moving because of the charges or something, like his name's all over it. And
Yeah.
her reply was, "So you lot admitting you're guilty now? Yeah, is that what this is?"
Yeah.
And I also said, I saw Terry, shout out Terry Fleurs, doing exactly the same thing, questioning City fans, like, "Are you now admitting guilt? Like, is this what this is?" And
Yeah.
to me, it was funny in some respect because it sort of proves something that we all knew.
Yeah.
Little City, do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We're Manchester United, baby. We
You know what
still
it
got
is
that
as
pulling
well?
power.
I think everyone's noticed as well when before the news dropped, he had 9.3k followers, and now he's got fuck knows how much. He literally shot up within 24 hours. He's got
I think it was on like 40k at one point. I don't even know, but actually check it now. Check it now. See what he's got.
54k. So from 9.3k,
So basically, he's got more followers than they have seats in the Etihad.
So man's got 54k followers, and you know what? This is another thing that I question as well because
I want right. Let's go on that because I want to talk about his social media activity. Bro, he rinses us.
Bro, the guy destroyed us.
I'm watching the replay of the 99 final. Bayern deserved to win. I'm watching Chelsea versus Man United. Viva la Spanish connection. Let's hope Chelsea win. Like, what?
You know what? He's not even like, for instance, he's destroyed Manchester United. He's destroyed the Glazers on his Twitter, and
that I can get behind.
But
here's my thing. Why is he signed for us if he's destroying the Glazers? If he's been like calling out the Glazers, like he shared things about Man United overpaid for Di Maria, Man United overpay on wages, this, that, the other.
And you know what? He's on it. Like, okay, I'm not too sure how active he's on Twitter, but he's not even changed his obviously bio. He's not even changed his bio. And
well, I mean, he's technically not started the new role, so I guess he's still in charge at City Football Group there. But yeah, like, bro, his Twitter to me, he's basically pulled our pants down for the longest amount of time. And it's just gonna seem a bit weird that like this guy's coming in. Like one of the boys in the WhatsApp group, Whack, shout out you, bro. He was basically saying last night, because I tried to stay up for the UFC and I just crashed. But he was basically saying that, he's from City, this, that, the other. And I'm like, yeah, but give the guy a chance.
Yeah.
You know, like, I understand there's allegiances there.
Yeah.
But give the guy a chance. Like, you know, he might be good for us.
Yeah.
You never know. Like, if he's professional enough to let that allegiance go, if he's the right man for the job, bro, I'm not a CEO. You're not a CEO. The only thing we'll ever be CEOs or directors or COOs of are Brown Munde, right? Like, and that's just us. We don't have a flipping multi-billion-dollar globally internationally traded global, super conglomerate or whatever. We're just us. We just do our own thing. That's how we've always worked.
Yeah.
So who are we to question this guy? But I mean, I've seen a lot of things that are quite positive about him. I've obviously seen the negatives, the 115 charges and City fans calling him a snake and whatnot. But look, my friend was right. You don't make that move.
No,
Like
you
whether
don't.
it's United to
That's like
City, City to United, it's weird, bro.
that's like that's literally like Carlos Tevez.
Yeah, and the thing is for me, like, look, I will happily give him a chance. I will,
I've got a
you know,
question
give
for
him
you.
time to do his thing.
I've
Go
got a
on.
question for you. Have you ever seen, like, we've probably seen people go from United to other clubs to City. We probably have seen, well, Tevez to straight to City.
Well,
Have we
Tevez
ever
did it.
seen?
Hargreaves did it.
No, but
Remember?
did he go straight to City or wait a few months?
I think so. I think he left us on a free in time for City. I can't remember.
Yeah, but obviously with Tevez, it was more
Tevez
lucrative,
was
wasn't it?
the one
Yeah.
that obviously stuck out because that was the
Have
start
you
of the
ever
Abu Dhabi
seen?
era.
Have you ever seen a City player go to United?
Directly,
Yeah.
not in the senior team.
So what the fuck this guy doing?
Exactly. And this is something Harps raised.
Yeah,
Why is he leaving Man City to come to Man United?
yeah,
Like, yeah, I joked, oh, little City and, you know, we're Man United and all this, but Man City are the best run club, arguably in the world.
yeah, yeah.
We're a shit show.
Mm,
Why would you leave one for the other?
yeah.
Unless maybe he knows something we don't.
Mm.
But I don't know, man. Like I said, he's made that move. So for me, like anyone who's new in this football club, for me, starts at 0, right? And they work their way to 10 out of 10. Now, because of that Man City allegiance, for me, he kind of starts at -1. Like he's got to do that little bit extra to win me over, if that makes sense.
You know what? I don't even know because I'm not doubting his job role and everything, his experience and everything. I think he will get shit done. For me, the cloud is the charges. Do you know what I mean? Now the thing is,
Especially if he is named and implicated.
the thing is, I also raised before I got into it before. On his Twitter, he's not changed nothing. Now again, yesterday I mentioned it in the group and everything. On the club statement, normally previously with Richard Arnold, when he got appointed as CEO, when he resigned, there was a quote released from our co-chairman, Joe Glazer. Before that, when we had a director of football and technical director appointment, we had the executive vice chairman, which was Ed Woodward, that in some sense a chairman as well. Do you know what I mean? These
Don't
level
forget, on the Ed Woodward statement, there was also quotes from Joel.
Yeah,
when
so you
Woodward stepped down.
Yeah, so
or resigned or whatever he did. I don't know.
These level of job titles, they've said something. Do you know what I mean? Now, going back to Omar Berrada and the club release, there's nothing there.
There was no mention of the Glazers.
Yeah.
By that I mean there was no direct quote from them.
Yeah.
Just to make that 100% clear in what I'm saying. So that I found a bit odd, because surely as the chairman, co-chairman, essentially the majority shareholders, you'd expect some comment from them, right? Even if it was flipping Darcy Glazer, like, oh, we're delighted to have him here. We hope we can do great things together. But the statement to me, let me just grab it 2 seconds. It was very...
Before you grab that, another thing I want to add on that, the statement-wise, we've not had a statement from City Football Group. We've not had a statement from Man City. Nothing. Nada. Done nothing. Do you know what I mean?
He left on bad terms?
I'm not even saying he's left on bad terms. I'm questioning, is it even actually a deal?
I mean, well, United have confirmed it, so I'd assume it's done.
Yeah, but
I think from City's point of view, their press is a lot different to ours. Like, I think with us, we have to announce these things, obviously, because we are publicly listed.
Yeah.
So that does change a lot of things. So we have to, basically, we have a right to notify the shareholders of these kind of things, and
It,
we
it,
do these and all these filings.
you know what? It's for me. It's still questionable. I'm not saying that it's a bullshit kind of appointment or anything like that. Like, obviously, they probably
You're
like
more
it,
questioning the
whatever.
nature of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
I get what you're saying.
There's a lot of questions for me regarding it, but the biggest question for me is the charges. Is he going to get punished? Do you know what I mean? There's 115 charges. He has to be part of it. He will know about it.
He was
It's
too high up not to be part of it.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
yeah. And you can have people say, "Oh, he's not part of it. He didn't know nothing about it." I think the Times ran that story. He's got nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
there's this mad
Or-
PR thing going on about that he doesn't know anything and he's
Yeah.
not part of it. I don't know, man. It seems a bit. I get what you're saying in that City haven't said much. Hang on, let me go on City's Twitter. Have they actually said anything?
No, I checked this morning and yesterday as well. Even the
Man
City
City,
football group.
Man City. There's nothing. There's not really any mention really of Berrada, but again, it could be the fact that we're a PLC. We have different responsibilities and different ways of operating, as I guess you could say. But let me go back to Man United. Let me find this statement because this was.
You know what? There's one thing here. There's a tweet here. I love tweets from fucking people, man. So the United fan base, City are just a dirty, shake, oil-run club. Literally twerking.
I wouldn't tweet that right now.
Yeah.
That
And
might
then
bite us in the butt.
And then you've literally got the City executive are just a bunch of cheats, inflating sponsorship, operating fraudulence. 2024, 2024, yeah. Omar Berrada hired what a coup. We've hired the slickest operating football hypocrites.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was thinking, oh my god, what's he on about? I'm guessing you've read out the same guy.
It is the same guy. So
Okay,
you've got
yeah, that's fine. Let's not name him because
2023.
screw him, right?
No, I'm not gonna name it. I'm not gonna name it. It just says 2023. City
Yeah.
are just a dirty chic all around club or whatever. Then he's got another one saying 2024. Berrada hired what a coup. We've hired the slickers operating football. Bro, that's I've got words. I've got no words for these lot. But there's a lot to it because people are coming out and saying it's an Ineos led. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, journalists have come out and said it's an Ineos led.
But right, here's my sticking point with that. Ineos led. Now we heard in the reports, in the media for the longest time, they wanted Jean-Claude Blanc to be the CEO. And then all of a sudden the narrative changed to he's not going to, well, we knew he was going to be on the board anyway, apparently. And they wanted him also as the CEO. Then the narrative changed to he's not going to be the CEO, but the CEO is going to report to him. And apparently the CEO move for Jean-Claude Blanc was vetoed by the Glazers. Because obviously they're, majority shareholders. So how is this Ineos led? Especially when they're majority shareholders and they hold all the power. Because remember, Jim's only getting sporting control. A CEO is a chief executive officer of the PLC, of the whole company. So surely that supersedes sporting control.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not led, is it?
So that doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, let's have a look. So I'm going to read out like the first two bits of the statement. So Manchester United is pleased to announce the appointment of Omar Berrada as its new CEO. Yeah. And then it says the club is determined to put football and performance on the pitch back at the heart of everything we do. Omar's appointment represents the first steps on this journey. So, one question. Why wasn't performance on the pitch at the heart of everything we do in the first place? Why do we need to put it back there? You know,
It's
what
just-
changed?
This is the United States you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the first paragraph. The club is determined to put football performance on the pitch back at the heart of everything we do. So why, do you know what I mean? Why do we have to put that back? Why wasn't that there in the first place? But it's, you know, let me talks a bit about his experience. And then it says, it is our stated ambition to re-establish Manchester United as a title-winning club. We are pleased Omar will be joining us to help achieve that goal, so that once again, United fans can see, in the words of Matt Busby, the red flag flying high at the summit of English, European and world football. When have the Glazers ever showed this level of ambition?
When have they ever mentioned Simon Busby?
When have they ever mentioned winning? It's weird. It's so weird to me. Like, we are a football club, right? I know I joke about Manchester United PLC, but we are Manchester United Football Club.
Yeah.
So why was football not at the centre of things in the first place? I don't understand. That's what I can't get past.
It's just because Jim's here. Is it because of
what the cycling team rolled in? So now we've got the cyclists in. We're going to talk about football. Is that what it is?
And it's basically Teflon Dave and his marginal gains.
Well, I mean, that's not marginal gains, bro. That's flipping. That's levels.
Berrada
is levels.
It is levels. It's
like,
probably,
if you compare the previous CEOs, so Arnold, Woodward, let's use Stuart for argument's sake. So you got them three,
yeah,
that were after David Gill, yeah.
Mm.
Berrada is better than all three of them combined.
Yeah,
by his reputation.
Yeah.
So that if that's marginal gains, as long as you buy 100% of the club, Jimmy, I'm in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want 100%. None of this 25, 28, 29, whatever. But look, I also saw somebody making some connections or correlations or connecting the dots on Twitter. You know who I'm about to mention? Our good buddy Raymond. No,
Okay.
we were friends once upon a time. Don't know what happened. Bro, this dude could link a homeless person in Manchester City Centre to Qatar. Like, genuinely.
You know what?
Have you seen how he linked Berrada to Qatar?
No, because I'm blocked.
Berrada to. Oh
blocked.
God, yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
So
Sorry,
I can't see shit. But you know what it is, though. I actually want to see his Google search history, because that
You know
must
what?
be fucking popping.
I'd be afraid.
I wouldn't. I just want to.
I'd be afraid to see it.
Yeah, I just want to see it. But yeah, if you want to go through it, how he's linked.
Right, so how he linked Qatar and Omar Berrada. So Omar Berrada's at Man City. While at Man City, Omar Berrada has tweeted about Qatar and the situation surrounding the World Cup. That's one tweet, yeah? And then there was another tweet about PSG. And from that, he's decided to, don't know how, decide that means that this was a Qatari influenced appointment, which I am so confused about. So if someone can please clarify that,
I mean,
please
you know what?
do.
He might have a point. You know, he might actually have a point.
Yeah, but see, I had a theory that I joked about in the WhatsApp chat, and I thought Raymond would have run with this. And my theory was Omar Berrada currently works at City Football Group. City Football Group are owned by the Abu Dhabi Group. The Abu Dhabi is in the Middle East. It's in the GCC. Conveniently, so is Qatar, right? that was my link. And that's how I linked it to Qatar, but Raymond just went, "Oh, he's tweeted." I'm like, "Yo, okay," but I just, I don't
No,
know.
because
There's something about this move is
okay.
weird
So
to me.
hear me out now. Yeah.
Go on.
Now, just from on the top, the way you've just explained it. Now, maybe Jim's bringing the boys in for Qatar. Maybe it's a partnership. How's that? Maybe because this appointment is levels above the Ineos's, the trawlers, not trailers,
Well,
trawlers.
who are the CEOs at these Ineos clubs?
Forget the CEOs. This
No, but
is
that's what I'm saying.
literally-
Like, this
yeah.
is like, this doesn't even scream like them. Obviously, the other three clubs they own aren't on the scale of Man United.
This screams like fucking Qatar. This is the thing.
I don't see a partnership though.
No, I know. Same me.
Like, what are you saying? Jim gets
Yeah.
25 and Jassim takes 75.
Yeah, because the agreement's there. For the 25%, the agreement, guys, the agreement, not complete, but the agreement.
Very important to stress that.
Yeah, so that's the process done. Rain group are out basically. Do you know what I mean? The next step is obviously the 18-month superior bid, guys. Again, the agreement which leads to the 18 months superior bid. If the option comes in for a new bidder to come in now, a new bidder, basically. Going back to that, obviously,
Okay, question.
go on.
If you're Jassim in Qatar, why don't you just throw your superior bid in now? You know what Jim's offered? He's offered $33 per share for 25%.
Maybe he wanted to see the SEC. Yeah. So the SEC filing has come out. The tender offer, we knew about it. Well, obviously a few days ago. They've come to a point now where they're gonna go to the SEC right now. Yeah. So
If Ben Jacobs is to be believed, they are already in contact, apparently.
yeah. So you've got Ben Jacobs mentioned it. Next day was Keegan. The following day was Kava from Sky Sports, who's a keen Qatari pro Qatar basically.
He was
Now,
pissed on Christmas Eve. I was
from-
watching that live and he was
yeah.
pissed.
From what we know, but from what I know, is that Ansari and Shabazz are in obviously the US, so they're gonna go to New York, and they will go to DC, from my understanding. And if you put it down to big hitters in the 90 Foundation, these guys are gonna have hardcore evidence, paperwork, emails, everything. They're not gonna go.
They've got a hard drive with all their evidence. I would expect they've got a laptop with them, which is where they sent all the emails from. And I would expect they've also got paper printout copies of everything as well. They would make sure everything is 100% airtight and bulletproof before they threw out that accusation.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
Yeah, so basically, the way I see it now is, from what I've heard from people, is that a correctional statement can take days, weeks, or months. Now, I don't see this coming out months or whatever. I'm hoping something comes out, because, to be honest with you, us fans, if the Glazers have lied, us fans, every United fan deserves to see the correctional information.
Yeah,
Now,
if the Glazers have lied, the fans deserve to know the truth.
This is not
Class
about
A shareholders also need to know the truth, but let's put them to one side for example, for a minute, sorry. So put Class A to one side. Let's just talk about the fans. We deserve to know the full 110% transparent truth of what has gone on. So if someone is alleging there's been foul play, falsification, misrepresentation, whatever, we as fans deserve to know that. And
this is not even saying
that's the bottom line.
After this is not even saying that I'm only saying this because of Qatar. If Jim said I'm going to the SEC for a correctional statement, I don't want to know what it is, because as United fan, I actually want everything in black and white.
But even let's you pulled on the Jim thing there. Let's just mention that a second. Jim got his bid upped. Well, they basically haggled him, let's call it, like they do back home in the markets, all the haggling, from $22 per share to $33 per share. Right? That's what they sort of negotiated upwards with on him. So he's had his pants pulled down. Especially if they're saying that the Qataris only offered 24, 22, 28 or whatever. He's had his pants ripped. So he's been essentially scammed. Qatar have been dragged through the mud with everything about, no proof of funds, and they bid this and they bid that, and we advised them to bid this, and then they walked away and all this. So the only winner in that scenario right there was the Glazer family. Because as Riz said, that 1.05 billion wasn't going into the bank account, wasn't going against the debt that we have outstanding. It was going, here's your share, Darcy. Here's your share, Kevin. Here's your share, Edward. Here's yours, Joel, Avram, whatever Brian, whatever the other one's called. And that was going straight into their bank accounts and probably going to buy some nice penthouse apartments. So Man United fans deserve to know the truth of what's gone on, regardless of whether it was Jim Ratcliffe or Qatar or whatever who threw out the accusation. Because I'll be honest with you, Aki, if it was, let's take Qatar out of it for 1 second. Let's say it was Jim who threw in this thing, yeah? Let's say he said there's a correctional statement. And Dave said $33 per share, whatever, and I don't know why he'd... Well, okay, I've used a bad example. I'm gonna have to reword this a minute. Let's say Qatar were going for 25%, yeah? Hypothetically. So let's flip this on its head. Qatar are going for 25%, Jim's going for 100, yeah?
Yeah.
Qatar have agreed a deal, Qatar have put in a tender offer. It comes out that Jim's offer was XYZ and he bid 5 times and all this nonsense. And Jim throws in that correctional statement.
What I said before. Yeah. Even if Jim going straight for the SEC saying it's incorrect, I'd still want to know what it was. Because at the end of the day, someone who's basically wants to buy the club, they've just been ripped off by the Glazers. We've had 18, 19 years of the Glazers. I mean, they've literally just rinsed the club apart. I mean, they've literally just let us rot. Now, I don't want to know what it is, black and white, the bids, the figures, everything from A to Z. That's the thing that people don't understand. So, yeah, Sheikh Jassim has got a right to go to the SEC for a correction. I mean, it could be HPJ who's done it. But Sheikh Jassim...
Yeah, maybe. You don't want your son to be embarrassed.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So maybe he stepped in and said, you know what, we need to...
I go back to the thing where what Riz mentioned as well before was if he's actually withdrawn, why is he actually putting it down?
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned.
Why does he care? Why does he care? Why does he actually care?
And people keep saying to me, "Oh, it's to save face."
It's not.
Well, what difference is that going to make? He's still lost.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So the way I see it now is obviously the correctional statement will come out if it proves obviously Jim's bid was lower, Justin's bid was higher. For me,
I think that kicks off a shitstorm.
Yeah. It's going to be like a storm. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be volcano erupting. It's going to be massive. It probably is going to be front row pages kind of shit. The STC.
We might have to mute Twitter the day that lands.
Yeah.
Just to, I mean, when the Ben Jacobs tweet came out, look how busy we were. We were all like, oh my god, and hard to say, boys. I'm
actually hoping it comes out this week. this upcoming week, aside from tomorrow, we hear some like a little snippet. Do you remember I told you the day Ben Jacobs tweeted about Sheikh Jassim? I told you, and you can actually correct me on this, that I've got a feeling the 92 are gonna give one report to one journalist every day. So it was Ben Jacobs on the Wednesday.
Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember. But
Ben
the next day
Jacobs
was Mike Keegan.
Yeah, so then,
Um,
so Ben Jacobs. Next day was Keegan, which I predicted, and it was around
Don't
the
forget,
same
Keegan
time.
deleted the article and then reposted it.
Yeah. And the first article said that he did bid higher, didn't he?
Well, this is the sticking point for me of all this. Ben Jacobs' tweet said that they paid $6 billion US plus $1.7 billion US in pledged investment, right?
Yeah.
So $7.7 billion total. Then the Keegan article said that there was an asking price of £4.5 billion, which Qatar are alleging that they met. They met the price. I think I worked it out. $6 billion US is like 4.7, 4.8, give or take a couple 100,000, whatever, for the exchange rate on millions anyway, on billions rather. So 4.7 to 4.8 billion. That's a bigger number than 4.5. So they beat the asking price from what I've worked out.
Yeah.
So what happened? And this is the thing. This is what we are now going to find out when the SEC filing lands. And look, people let me just go back to the saving face thing. People keep saying to me, "Oh, he's doing it to save face." So throughout the world media, the Qataris have been dragged. They've been embarrassed. Oh, he's fake. He's an AI. He's not a real person. Oh, they couldn't afford it. They weren't serious players. They got outsmarted. We've seen all the headlines. We've seen all the BS. Oh, sports washing. Oh, this, oh, that. Yeah. So they've been dragged. They've had their name dragged through the mud. Yeah. The Al Thani name. Let's take 9-2 out of it for a second. Let's specifically talk about the Al Thani family because this is who it impacts directly. Their name has been dragged through the mud. So can you imagine if they make this accusation and the accusation is proven to be false? That's even more humiliation, even more dragging your name through the mud, even more basty, and you're the laughing stock of the world if you aren't already, because allegedly Jim Ratcliffe outsmarted you. So to me, that alone tells me that there is something that they are, as again, like I said, 110%, that they feel there's something or some things, plural, missing or misrepresented in that SEC filing that came out. There's got to be something there that has completely pissed them off. That's the only way I can put it. I don't know what your feelings are on that, but that's just how it makes sense in my head.
Yeah, no, I do completely agree with you because I think I've had a chat with Riz about this as well, and a few of the people as well, and people close to the matter, basically. Let me just put it that way. Who know a bit of it as well, and if the correctionals filings do show Jassim's bids is higher, it comes down to obviously Jim's. It basically is going to cause a shit show for everyone, Jim, Glazers, and everything.
Can I just mention quickly on that? People keep saying to me in particular, the vote doesn't matter. Glazers have all the votes because they have 10 times voting power. Bro, Glazers have had 10 times voting power since the day they put this stuff on the stock market. Do you know what I mean? That's nothing new. The deck has always been stacked in terms of votes because that's how they wanted it. So just on that basis, let's say that, yeah, the votes don't matter or whatever, because apparently Glazers can use the B and the A votes to outvote the A guys, which is fine. But let's say the corrective statement does show that Jassim bid higher. That doesn't stop a legal challenge. Yes, I know that the legal challenge, they may not win, but as majority shareholders and custodians of a PLC, you have a fiduciary duty to act in the best interests of your shareholders.
Yeah.
Which is basically ensure the most money and get the most returns, right?
Yeah.
So if the Jassim bid is higher, common sense dictates that's the best interest. So that's one avenue. But now the Glazers can counter that argument and they can say, well, we are acting in the best interests because we don't believe that that's what we're worth. We believe we're worth more. We believe we're worth more. We believe we can get you, the shareholders, more money. So that'll go back and forth, become a bit of a he said, she said. But look, I think it'll delay a deal if the lawsuits do come. But I just want people to understand there isn't something here where I don't understand the voting process. I'm looking far and beyond the voting process. Yeah, like the legal challenges are what can really sway this deal, what can delay this deal. Like I said, the Glazer family can argue and fight their corner that they believe they are worth X billion more than what was bid. But if everything is published to say they advised this bid and this is what we bid and this is what the asking price is and this is what they bid, then the Glazers don't have a leg to stand on in that sense, right? Do you get what I'm saying? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So like it's like you saying to me, right, I don't know, I'm selling you my car, right? Hypothetically. And you say to me, how much are you looking for the car? And I say I want 50k. And you say, right, okay, how about 35? You know, like we're boys, it's done X amount of miles and there's a couple of scratches on it, and you know, this, that, the other. I know it's been in a couple of crashes, we'll do 35. And I say, all right, Cello, you know what? Let's do 40, you know? Let's do 40. But then in the meantime, Harps rings me and he goes, yo, Afzal, I know you're selling your car. I give you 28 grand for it. And I go, yeah, sweet, done. And then you chat to Harps. Harps rolls up to yours in my car, or what you think is my car, but I sold it to him. And you go to him, where'd you get the car from? And he goes, oh, Afzal sold it with 28 grand. You're going to be sat there thinking, fucker, I offered him 40. Like, why has he sold it to him? I offered him more money. Like, it makes sense. Especially, I know obviously a football club and a PLC is completely different to buying a car, but I'm just trying to get the point and get the argument across that allegedly one party offered significantly more than the other party, right? Was that like, that's as simple as I can make it, right?
Yeah.
But look, we can go around the houses with all these theories. We can go around the houses with Omar Berrada and the 115 charges or whatever. But look, if he's coming into Manchester United, I'll back him. I'll give him a chance. I hope he does well. I hope he can do to Manchester United what him and his mates did to Man City, minus the 115 charges. And I just hope that if and or when Man City are found guilty, that his reputation isn't tainted by that. Because if he's tainted by that, then we are tainted by that. And I think that right now as Manchester United, I think that's the last thing we need as a football club. But let's move it on. I've got one more topic, Aki. The manager.
What's that? Ten Hag or
Ten Hag.
about him?
Now, you saw, obviously, we had the discussion in the WhatsApp group, and the discussion's been going on the Discord as well all day about managers. And actually, one quick question, because Ronnie put this in the Discord about if it wasn't to be the rumours of Berrada, Dan Ashworth, Paul Mitchell as the new setup,
Yeah.
who would you want? Let's leave Berrada in there because Berrada's already confirmed. So you're looking at a head of recruitment and like another transfer person, basically. So director of football and a head of recruitment.
So right, okay. So Dan Ashworth, I do rate him, but not that highly compared to the likes of Edwards and Mitchell. If I have to choose between Edwards and Mitchell, I'm going for Mitchell. Mitchell for me is going to be really good. Again, I think myself. I don't rate Edwards that highly as well. We've gone back and forward, me, you, Harps and stuff. Mitchell for me coming in would be obviously ideal. But I still think we just need someone else as well. So I might end up saying yeah to Ashworth and Mitchell.
So one is director of football, one is head of recruitment.
Yeah.
Whichever way they work it out between them.
Yeah.
They can do an arm wrestle and the loser gets whatever.
Or the way Bass has said it, I think it's president of
footballing operations or something. Yeah, president. One will be a president of football operations, and then one would be a head of recruitment inside that football operations.
So there's a lot of different ways you can play it, but if I need to choose one, choose two or one, I'm going with Paul Mitchell.
So you would do Berrada as your CEO, Mitchell as your head of recruitment, or your director?
Paul Mitchell as head of recruitment.
And then who's your director of football?
Director of football. You know what? I might go beyond and outsource it because Berrada is more of a outsource, basically external. You know the guy from Atletico Madrid? Oh, it's called.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually go for him.
Tough negotiator.
Yeah, because that guy. Let me just get his name up.
And I think, is it Villanova? Is that the guy?
I think it is. You know, I forgot his
Jose
name.
Jose Maria Villanova. I think that's the guy.
Because I was looking at him yesterday because me and my cousin were talking about because obviously my cousin supports Chelsea. We were going through a few people and stuff, and so we have got.
Okay, it might not be Villanova, but give me 1 second.
It doesn't say here.
Oh, Andrea Berta, yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go for him because the guy's coming with a lot of different names, and I think the way you have to rate him and Simeone, they've kept it going for quite a long time.
Would you take Simeone as a manager?
You know what? I've always said Simeone would sue Arsenal. I've always said he'll sue Arsenal. Don't know why.
You know what? I think he could.
Yeah.
But I also think AFTV had won him out within about a week.
Fuck AFTV, man.
And then 2 weeks later, they'd be like, oh no, trust the process. Simeone in and, ranting to each other on fan cams.
Nah, fuck AFTV, man. I think the guy would smash it at Arsenal, you know.
He would. He'd be a solid manager.
Yeah.
He's better than Arteta. There's that for sure.
100%.
Okay, that's your picks, yeah? So we're going Andre Berta, and Paul Mitchell and Berrada, yeah?
Yeah.
So Berrada for me. I'm going to do what you did, and I'm going to switch it to how Bass did it and do president of footballing operations.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Listen, Villa are a well-functioning club, okay? I'm jealous. Bass got enough of the digs in yesterday.
Right, go on.
Man,
Go
Bass,
on,
we love
go
you,
on.
bro.
Yeah, go on.
Look, I'm going to do President of Football Operations is going to be Ralph Rangnick.
What, on the gym?
Under Berrada. So Berrada is going to be CEO.
Yeah.
And my President of Football Operations is going to be Ralph Rangnick.
On the gym?
Under Jim or Qatar. This is just what I'm...
Right, okay, so I thought we're talking about fucking on the gym only.
Okay, right. Let's do an under Jim one. So you went with that, yeah?
Yeah.
So under Jim, Berrada, President of Footballing Operations, I'd have Dan Ashworth. I do rate him.
Yeah.
And I think his time with the FA and Bright, you know, he's had a lot more hisses than he's had misses.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, England's a complete different anomaly because England are just useless.
Yeah.
But in terms of recruitment with Brighton and now with Newcastle, you know, he's done very well there. So I'd have him. And director of football or head of recruitment, shall we say, I'd have someone like Paul Mitchell. Now, I know, obviously, Ashford's probably a lot younger. Mitchell's got a better CV. But my thinking behind it is I do Paul Mitchell as the sort of the head of recruitment because he's got a bigger network. He's got a bigger reputation. He's more established.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Than say Dan Ashworth. Like, Paul Mitchell turns up. You get out the red carpet, the umbrella, the briefcase, all of that stuff. Dan Ashworth turns up, he just gets a red carpet. Like that's how I see it. No disrespect to either man there, because outstanding bodies of work. So that's my gym one. Let's do Qatar.
Right,
bearing in mind, Berrada is still CEO. So
Yeah,
Berrada is CEO. President of Footballing Operations would be Ralph Rangnick.
Yeah.
And Director of Football / Head of Recruitment. I kind of want the Napoli guy. Just because he's just a badass negotiator when it comes to selling players. And locking down contracts. Napoli's Director of Football. I'll get you the name. Napoli Director of Football is Aurelio De Laurentiis.
He's the owner.
Oh, no, sorry. The sporting director is Mauro Meluso.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so.
Actually, no, you know what? Screw him. Paul, yeah, you know what? Screw it, Paul Mitchell.
Yeah.
Ralph and Paul built Red Bull.
Mm.
I mean, they know each other. They've worked together. There's a chemistry or some sort of relationship there at least. Now, that's that. Let's go on to the manager briefly, and then we'll wrap it up. As I think the other lads have forgot, or Harps might be KO'd by his takeaway.
Yeah.
But how do we put this? There was a discussion in the Discord.
Okay.
About if Ten Hag is sacked. It was Ronnie again who posed the question. If Ten Hag is sacked, give me one word, one name, who you taking as manager. Under Jim and or who do you want as manager if Ten Hag goes either owner?
The guy from Sporting Lisbon.
Ruben Amorim.
Yeah.
Okay. Because a lot of people mentioned Jose.
Yeah.
In the Discord. I went with Tuchel.
Oh, yeah. I
really like the way...
Give me fucking Tuchel, man. Give me Tuchel, because...
And I think, especially if you had Ralph Rangnick above him...
Give me Tuchel.
That's a perfect, because obviously they know each other. Tuchel studied under Ranić. That's a perfect sort of relationship there, which, you know, can only improve things, we hope. But I said Tuchel. I do love Jose.
Give me Ruben Amorim or Tuchel. Simple as. But the name that I've been flying about in the last 24 hours under Berrada is the guy from Ginoran. So I think it's
Michel, I think. I don't know his
Michel,
full name, but they call him Michel.
Michel. So
Right, now my only weird thing about this is,
go on.
because I do sort of agree with you, is Girona are only starting to perform now.
Yeah.
We don't need, with all due respect to this guy, we don't need another up and comer. We need a name that can come in and do the business.
Yeah, give me Tuchel. Fuck it. Give me Tuchel.
Now, I bring this up because I might land him in it here. So I'm sorry, Harps. I apologize, bro. But Harps posted in the WhatsApp chat Xabi Alonso's managerial record and his performance this season at Bayern Leverkusen, and said, would Man United fans object to this? A lot of the boys were like, no, it's cool, it's calm, he's a good manager. Like, Riz was on side. I know Harps sounded like he was on side.
Even I'm on side as well.
You're on side. I wasn't, on the basis that he's a Liverpool legend. Like, the stench of Scouse is just unbearable for me. Now, I understand Sir Matt Busby played for Man City and Liverpool, but I just think in the modern day, it's that whole thing about the game's changed.
So when it comes to reality wise, I don't think he comes.
I don't think he'd come. I think he's.
I don't even think he wants to go to Liverpool. I think he'll basically go to Real Madrid, and that's about it.
I can see him replacing Ancelotti in a year's time.
Now,
Ancelotti finally retires.
The reason why I said is because if Berrada, if Omar can go from City to United, minor. Do you know what I mean? Like, that guy knows City's every little secret, every little blueprint.
Yeah, he knows the foundations, the brickwork, the paint they used.
Yeah, he's gonna bring you over to basically to Old Trafford.
Now, was he in City's All or Nothing?
I'm not too sure. I didn't watch it.
I might watch it again and see if he's mentioned it.
Now you've got Alonso. He's been managed by fucking legends. Pep,
Zidane, Ancelotti, Pep, Mourinho.
You know what I mean? The guy's got it all. I think Mourinho, there's a video of Mourinho from a couple of years saying Xabi Alonso is going to be a top coach, a top manager. Now, I would love to have that guy in. Do you know what I mean?
See, I agree with that point of view. And I can put the Liverpool, and Riz said the Liverpool allegiance goes out the door the second he signs.
Yeah.
I get that school of thought, but then I also think, no, it doesn't, because it's still there. Like, he still played for them. And maybe that's just me being a bit tribal, whatever. But like,
if he goes,
it goes back to me saying, with Berrada, I said he starts at -1. Yeah, he doesn't start at 0. He starts at -1. With Alonso, I think with a lot of the fans, he'd start at like -2, just because of his past affiliations to Liverpool.
You know what? I don't even think it comes to that. I think the fans wouldn't even give a shit, because I've already seen fans say, "I'll give Xabi Alonso."
Oh God!
Right now, I don't think people care about that kind of shit. They're just looking at managers who are doing really well. Do you know what I mean?
Give me him. Give me him. Get Ten Hag out.
Yeah.
And then when he loses 5 games, get him out. Get someone else in.
Exactly. All they care about is a manager is doing good. Give me that manager. Do you know what I mean? That's what they talk about. Like the Brighton manager last season, he did sick. Yeah.
De Zerbi. Everyone was like, "Oh, let's get De Zerbi."
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Now, do they want him? Fuck knows. Alonso's on a run. But realistically, I would want Tuchel, but I wouldn't even mind Xabi Alonso. But I don't think he's ready for it though. I don't think he's ready.
mean,
I think Alonso needs another season at Leverkusen. Then he could go to Madrid or United or Liverpool or the big clubs. He needs one more season at top level, and then. But I mean, if he wins the league title now, yeah, if he wins the league title, for the German league, then yeah, I could see him going over. But we just have to see what happens.
fair enough. Look,
Yeah,
that's fine. I've got one more question for you before we go.
go on.
Where do you think Jose Mourinho goes now?
Newcastle.
You reckon?
You know why? Okay, so let me break it down for you. So I've got basically
Jose
one of
and Dan
my.
Ashworth, yeah?
Yeah. No, you know what? To be honest with you, the way I see Mourinho and Newcastle is, and I said this exact same thing to one of my lads. So he's a Newcastle fan. He just lives up the road. That guy's been buzzing since Saudi have come in. Do you know what I mean?
Did he
Even
start
now,
supporting him 2 years ago when the Saudis came in?
nah, the guy's been a diehard fan. The guy's been
Fair
like
enough.
every season, he was buying Alan Shearer shirts. Literally, when we used to play footy back in the days, he's just got a goal. He managed to be like that, Alan Shearer.
I was going to say, did he do the Shearer celebration?
Yeah. You know what
That's
I mean?
bad.
Bro, me and him, we used to play. So obviously Fields. What's that game called, man? We have one keeper and just everyone's against you.
Wembley,
Wembley.
knockouts,
So
whatever. There was
yeah,
a billion different
yeah.
names for it.
So at one point, me and him got teamed up. So obviously there's about a good 15 of us. So we got teamed up and everything. So 2-2s. We literally won the tournament, and I'm there feeding the balls, and the guy literally just smashing them in, and the guy's doing that fucking celebration. But no,
So you were the
so,
Beckham, he was the Alan Shearer, yeah?
yeah, basically. But obviously, it's supposed to be the other way around. But I think at the time, I just thought, you know what, you do you, I'll do me. You know what I mean? But this was when we were young, man. This was when we were young. We could do whatever we want. But back to us in Newcastle, I told him the other day because I saw him after Juma, spoke to him, and he basically goes, he would give Eddie Hearn until the season. And I mentioned
Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe, yeah.
Eddie Hearn's got different business with Saudi.
Yeah, fucking hell. So obviously he goes Eddie Howe in the season, and I was like, okay. So what do you think of Jose Mourinho? And he goes, I would love him under Saudi. He'd smash it. And he goes, but would he actually go? And I go, I think he does because Newcastle are bigger than Man City when it comes to the club itself. Forget football and everything. For the club itself, they're bigger. They've got a bigger stadium and everything. History-wise,
if you look at when they were taken over, they're in a better spot.
History-wise, Newcastle are bigger as well. Connection-wise, Mourinho has it with Sir Bobby Charlton. Not Bobby Charlton,
Bobby Robson.
Yeah, so
Sir
Sir
Robson,
Bobby
yeah.
Robson, yeah. So Sir Bobby Robson and Mourinho were at Barcelona. They've got that connection. And I remember
Because Jose was the translator, wasn't he?
Yeah. And
That's
I
what he
think
was nicknamed.
I think there's a quotation from one of them back in the days about each other. So I would love to see that. I would love to see that. And I think the energy, the atmosphere at St. James Park, I think Mourinho would love it.
Yeah, he'd thrive off that, man. And I think with all the money in the world behind him, quite literally, he'd love it.
Yeah.
Like, he would absolutely love it, and he'd do bits for them.
Yeah.
But look, let's wrap it up. Let's bring it back to Man United before we wrap up. Look, we talked to Omar Berrada. We talked potential new managers, new director of football opera, whatever you want to call it, whatever fancy titles we used.
Yeah.
Look, none of that is going to make a difference as long as the Glazers are here. I don't care who says what. The Glazers have raped and pillaged and milked this club dry for nearly 20 years. So as far as I'm concerned, I speak for all of the Brown Monday when I say this as well. We are 100% glazers out and 100% full sale only. And also, if you're keeping the glazes in, we want you out as well. So Jimmy, get on your bike, son.
The guy that turns up on your party.